and gentlemen, to whom it concerns, it's The Late Late Show. And here is your host, Gay Byrne.
No good. Thank you. Thank you so much. No good applauding. I can't let you say hello to your friends and relations at this stage because it would upset our first guest that you know about. I'll explain that to our viewers. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen at home. Welcome to The Late Late Show as we enter our 21st year. It's wonderful, once again, to be back on the job. It really is. In fact, it's wonderful to have a job to be back on. I thought Pat Kenny was going to replace us all. Wasn't he? He was on everything, wasn't he? He was on, I was waiting for him to turn up on The Angelus. I really was. I really was. He was on everything. No, this is true. But did you notice he didn't replace Mike Murphy? Did you notice that? Never. You know why he didn't replace Mike Murphy, of course, you know? He tried the tap dancing, fell in the sink. Tap dancing sink. No, it's all right. No, it's all right. Doesn't work like that gag. I must remember. Now, ladies and gentlemen, because we are entering our 21st year, we have decided, those of you who remember the early years of The Late Late Show, and I'm not one of them, will remember that we used to have a panel always, and we've decided in celebration of our 21st year, we are going to reinstitute our panel on the show. And we would like you to welcome our panel for tonight. They are Lynn Geldof and Terry Ferry. Let's have a welcome for them. Now, I would describe that as a cautious round of applause, and it's possibly because none of the people in the audience know who you are. So I've asked Lynn and Terry to, in 30 seconds, as if I didn't know them and as if nobody in the audience knew them and nobody watching knew them, I've asked them to think up an introduction for themselves. Lynn, introduce yourself to everybody. Atta girl.
More difficult than it might seem. I write a weekly column for the Sunday Tribune, and I contribute monthly to Image and You magazines, and I also contribute to In Dublin magazine. And this, ladies and gentlemen, is a terrifying experience.
You'll be grand, you'll be grand. Now, lovely. Terry Ferry.
Well, I originate from Donegal. I was one of the first boat people. We went to London. I worked there in the swinging 60s in the advertising business. I came back to Ireland in the 70s for a rest. I set up my own advertising research business. And because people were so interested in what I was doing, I had enough time to go back to Trinity and study law.
Yes.
I did that, and so if you ever see an interviewer in Grafton Street wearing a wig and gown, that's me.
That's Terry Ferry.
That's me.
Remarkably unimpressive introductions, I would have thought. Doesn't grab my attention at all. But they are here to help out with the show. I don't know what the function of a panel is, actually. It's sort of generally to help out and ask the questions I can't think of.
Nobody told us
enter into discussion. No, nobody ever tells you anything. However, let us start with music while our panel settle down for the first time. And it says here, at a time when most of the records in the charts, who wrote this, are by artists whose main claim to fame is bad dress and very bad hairstyle, it's nice to be able to feature some young people who are extremely glamorous and have been having hits constantly since 1978. It's well written, this. They were with us 3 years ago on The Late Late Show. I remember. So will you welcome with their new hit, Give Me Some Kind of Magic. They call themselves Dollar. Here they are. It's not a bad introduction. That's it. Thank you kindly. Nice opener. Nice opener. What do you think of it so far? You don't know the answer to that. You're not with it, you see. You're not with it. Now, my friends, I want you to take careful note of our next guest. He is a man whom the audience in the studio have already met, and he's talked specifically to about, I think, about half a dozen, maybe 10 of them. He is I want you to pay particular attention. I'll explain later why you have to pay particular attention to what he's doing. He's a magician and hypnotist who really made a tremendous impact recently in a show in the Gaiety with Dickie Rock. What exactly he has in mind, what he's going to do, I have not the faintest idea, but would you welcome back, please, Barry Sinclair. Barry.
Well, it's really nice for me to be here, I must say. And where are the folks at home? Where are they? Oh, hello there. Hi. Well, now, those people that we had earlier, by the way, we've hypnotized them already, and the reason is people at home could become influenced. That's true. People at home could actually go under the spell or the trance or whatever you like. Maybe later we'll explain all about that. But those victims that subjects, beg your pardon, that we selected earlier, maybe if you'd like to come forward, we'll get right into it. How about that? Come on, and let's give them a round of applause as they come forward. Fine. Hello. Well, maybe we're going over here, are we? If you'll stand in front of the chairs along here, please, if you don't mind. Hello there, hi. Wow, we really have a lot.
Over there.
You're going to have a real good time, so don't be nervous.
Sure about that? There is no payment for this.
Oh, no, definitely not. Fine. Now, on your word of honor, I have never met anybody before. Isn't that true? This is the first time tonight. Hello there. Hi. What's your name?
Paddy.
Or should I ask you something easier,
Paddy
eh? Hello, Paddy. How are you? And who are you? Hello, Rita. How are you? Don't you worry about a thing. You have a sense of humor, have you?
Yes.
You're going to need it tonight, I'll tell you that. Well, I knew you had a sense of humor. I took one look at you and I said, well, there's a man with a sense of humor. Well, you must have to come dressed like that. Just stand on the spot, my friend. Now, on the spot. You see the spot? Did you do it?
Yeah.
Oh, don't worry. You're going to have a good time. It's hard to believe, actually, you can be hypnotized instantaneously. Isn't that true? Have you ever... Well, I'll show you. Look. Your name is?
PJ.
Hello, PJ. There's a chair right behind you, PJ. Oh, well, that's fine. Look directly at me, PJ. Move back just a little bit so the folks at home can see. Good. Look directly into my eyes, PJ. When I snap my fingers, relax. Deeply. Hey, it's all right. Come back. It's all right. Come here. It's all right. Don't worry, please. It's all right. It's all right. Look. It's all right. Relax. Don't worry. Look, why don't you pick up PJ's arm just to explain? You'll tell the viewers at home as he's relaxed.
Yes.
Yes, relax. Oh, that's fine. That's fine. Sit up there now. That's good, and make sure you're comfortable. Good. Why don't you sit down? Why don't you all sit down there, please? Sit down. So nice to have you all here. There's no doubt about it. And you're going to have great fun, so don't worry about a thing. When I snap my fingers, merely relax and go to sleep. Relax, my friend. Into a nice, hello there, how are you? Relax. Well, this had never happened to you. What do you think? Impossible, relax. Deeply, and you too, join them. That's good. Deeper, relax. And now, as food is to the body, so thoughts are to the mind. We are what we think, but we are also, we are what we eat and think. So picture yourselves on vacation, or holidays rather, I beg your pardon. Picture yourselves on holidays having a nice time. To help to take you down into a deep state of relaxation, stretch out your legs, lie back and relax, just as if you're on vacation or on holidays. That's right, stretch, lie back, relax. The sun is shining, stay relaxed. Fine. That's good, and relax now. Tell you what we'll do. We'll have a little bit of fun now. We'll have a little bit of fun. Picture yourselves on the beach. The lady I'm touching now, every time I slap my leg, you will think the fellow beside you pinched you, and you'll be very annoyed. Now, my friends, he won't have done a thing. He's innocent, but I'm depending on the studio audience. You'll have to help me frame him. Is that a deal? There's a lady crying with laughter already. We haven't even started yet. I wouldn't blame you either. Every time I slap my leg, she will think he pinched her. Now, he'll be innocent. He won't know what's going on, but we'll frame him. Is that a deal? We'll have to frame him. Every time I say, Tarzan, the man I'm touching now, you will think you're Tarzan. You will jump up. Fine, relax in the meantime. The gentleman I'm touching. When I say Tarzan, you will jump up, hit your chest, and say, ah! You will think you're Tarzan. Every time, this lady here, fine, open your eyes. Open your eyes. Would you like to go back to your seat? We've lost you, I'm afraid. We do lose them occasionally. I'm sorry, we've lost you. Oh, it's all right, fine. But we really have to, fine. Relax deeply. Every time I say Tarzan, you will think you're Tarzan. Every time I say chicken, the man I'm touching now, you will think you're a chicken, not an ordinary chicken. Of course, you are a chicken laying a square egg with sharp corners. Every time I say, where's your trousers, the man I'm touching now, you will think you have no trousers on. You will think you left them out in the cloakroom along with your underpants. you'll be naked from the waist down. And I say, where's your trousers? Oh, mortification. But when I say it's all right, you've got them on, everything is all right. Oh, you ain't seen nothing yet, I'll tell you that. Every time I say, I'm in the mood for love, the lady I'm touching now, you will turn to the nearest fella to you, throw your arms about him and give him a big kiss. Every time I say fire, the man I'm touching now, you will think your chair is on fire. It's just burst into flames. You'll jump up as if it's burnt your bottom. You go, wow, the moment I say fire. And here we go. Let's wake them up. Now, they won't realize for one moment they are hypnotized, mesmerized, under any influence at all. And here we go. Wake up, please. Now, wake up. Nobody does anything. You hear your word, then you react instantly. That's what causes all the fun. Now, wake up, please. Hello there. Hi. Yes, sort of went funny there. Hello, wake up, please. Wake up. Hello, my friend. Wake up, please. Hi. Wakey, wakey. Oh, sorry. Would you like to sit up here, please? Thank you. You all feeling okay? I'm going to have to try and hypnotize you in a moment. What do you think? Think I'm going to be able to get anywhere? Think you are hypnotizable?
No.
You don't think so, I see. What about you? You don't think so either? Well, I'm glad. You know, there was a time you go to the movies and you'd be molested. A nice-looking girl, you couldn't sit down. It was a late show, so you don't have to worry about a thing here. That's the one thing. Excuse me. Hey, what is this? Excuse me.
Hit me.
He did. It's all right. Well, sit down. Look, he won't do it again. Sit down. Sit down. It's all right. Sit down. That's better. It's very nice of you to get up, you know, and I'm going to have to try and hypnotize a few people at the moment, and I must win you over, but you can't go pinching the girls. She's very pretty, but you must... No, that's all. He's very shy, you know. He's blushing, look. That's all right. Don't worry. He won't do it again. He won't do it again, I can tell. So you have nothing to worry about. That's a fact. Hey, wait a minute. You didn't do that again, did you? No. What? Well, I'd say, there's no good denying it. Did you see him? Did you see him? Oh, well, if you've seen... I'm calling my old friend from the jungle, Tarzan! Hey, I'm really glad you're here. Sit down. Fine, sit down, my friend. Sit down. Now that you're here, there'll be no more trouble out of him now. You know why? Because he's chicken. That's why. Normal. It's all right. Sit down. Fine. No laughing. He must be exhausted after that. There's a woman, she hasn't had so much fun since her husband died. Well, you're a very warm audience, I must say. You know, I saw a great movie. And you are actually you're such a warm audience, and the people at home. I think I feel moved to sing a song for you, and I will. Sing a nice song. I'm in the mood for love, simply because you're near me. Why, you sex maniac, look at that. You're pinching them here, you're grabbing them there. Why, it's absolutely disgusting. I know what's wrong with him. He's on fire, that's what it is. Hey, it didn't work with you, did it not? Oh, that's all right. Wakey, back to your seat. Missed one out here. That's all right. Oh, sorry about that. That's all right. We can't win them all this way. By the way, how come you came here with no trousers on? Where's your trousers? Hey, where's his trousers? Hey, we can still see you. Look. Hey, it's all right. You've got them on. Hey, sit down. It's all right. Don't worry. It's all right. Don't worry about a thing. Move your chair back. He won't pinch you again. Move your chair back. Yes, please. Thank you. Don't worry about a thing. Just close your eyes and relax. Relax deeply now. Relax and drift away. On the count of 3, you will open your eyes. 4. All right. On the count of 4. He said 4 and I said 4. Hey, that's good. Don't worry about a thing. This is a real live show, I'll tell you that. On the count of 3, you will open your eyes, and all the fellas on the stage, you will believe... Wait till you see this. You're not going to believe it. You will believe you are girls. You're not gentlemen at all. You are girls. The girls will be okay. They wake up. They'll be wondering why the guys think they're girls. Wait till you see this. On the count of 3, you will open your eyes, and you're girls. 1, 2, 3. You're girls. Hello there. Hi. Wake up. Wakey. Hello there. Hi. Well, it's so nice. I got all girls tonight. I could have done with a few fellas, you know. Hi. What's your name?
Margaret.
You're a very sexy young lady, you know. Yeah, you got a boyfriend?
No, I'm a virgin.
Hey, you didn't hear that at home either. Erase that from your minds. You did not hear that. Oh, I see. Well, don't you go with boys at all?
Sometimes.
Who are you? What's your name? Hannah. Yeah, you got boyfriends, Hannah?
Just one.
Oh, just one. And you love them?
Very much.
Ah, that's nice. Isn't it nice? I hope you're not like this girl here, are you? No, no. Hello there. Who are you? What's your name?
Mary.
Who?
Mary.
Mary. Oh, I hope you're not contrary, Mary. You go with boys?
No.
Oh, well, why not?
Too young yet.
Oh, you're too young. She's too young. Hello, who are you?
Bernadette.
Who?
Bernadette.
Bernadette. Got a boyfriend, Bernadette?
No, not.
Oh, you don't like boys?
No, not really.
You too young too?
Too young, yeah.
Ah, so that's wonderful. Close your eyes, relax, and go back to sleep. Relax, close your eyes, relax. And now I'll give you a pulse-hypnotic suggestion. When I leave, of course, it will go. But now, just to show you what it's like. The person I'm touching, when you hear this music, you will believe you are the greatest bullfighter in the world. You are El Cordobe. You will stand up right in the audience, and you will be El Cordobe when you hear the music. Now listen to the music, but do nothing yet. That's fine. Cut the music now. Good. When you hear that music, you will stand up and you're El Cordobe. When you hear this music, the girl I'm touching, you will believe you are Salome. Who's Salome? The sexiest striptease dancer in the world. You will stand up and do a striptease, but you will not take off your clothes, so please don't... oh, Salome, the very sexy girl. In the Lido, Paris, I've seen Japanese guys go in there, and they go in with eyes like that, and they come out with eyes like that. That's a fact, so it's going to be good. But the more you give, the more you get. You've got to encourage her now. And the more you give, the more you get. That's a fella, and you never know your luck. When you hear this music, listen to the music a moment. Pretty exciting. What do you think? Oh, cut the music. That's good. And now the gentleman I'm touching now. When you hear this music, you will believe you are the roughest, toughest, top sergeant in the Corps of Kildare. You will stand up, show these people how to march. You'll be shoulders well back, stomach will in, chest will out. You will show them how a real soldier marches when you hear the music. When the music stops, you will wonder what you're doing and stop instantly. But listen to the music a moment. Well, that's good. Okay, hold with that. Now, the lady I'm touching now, when you see me pull my ear, you will say, cuckoo, as loudly as you can when you're back in the audience. And the moment she says, cuckoo, the gentleman I'm touching now, you will stand up and at the top of your voice, you will roar as loudly as you can, Mammy, I want to do my wee-wee. Yeah, you gotta see this to believe it. And now we're going to wake them up, and it's sort of all over. They'll go back to their seats, and yet they will react right back there. When I leave the stage, it's all over. And here we go on the count of three. Please wake up feeling very well. I'd like to thank you. You've been a warm audience. You know, and they've opened their personalities, and they've brought you a gift of laughter, because you can't make people laugh. You can only give laughter. Isn't that true? You've been good. When they wake up, I realize that you realize they are the stars of the show, and I know you're going to give them a real big hand. The count of three, you will wake up feeling very well, ready to react to your cues when you go back to the audience. 1, 2, 3. Wakey, wakey, no ill effects. You will feel better than you did before you came up here. Wake up now. Hello, my friend. Wake up, please. Wake up. Wake up. Wake up, please. Oh, sorry. Wake up. Feeling all right? Feeling all right? Let's give them a real big hand as they go back to your seat. Would you like to lead back to your seat, please? Thank you. Thank you, my friend. Thank you. And now, I think we'll start if we get a camera ready. Start with El Cordobe, the greatest bullfighter in the world. When do you see this? Olé! Oh. Come on, everybody. Olé! Oh, cut the music. Hey, that's good. I think it's time. Thank you. You've done very well. You better go back to your seat. I don't know what came over you. I don't think anyone noticed. I don't think anyone noticed. They didn't see a thing. But now we have Salome. Look quick. Hey!
I like it.
All right, cut. Oh, yes. Wow. But now, to give us a rousing send-off, we have the greatest soldier in the Irish Army. Let's all join in with our friend here. Let's all join in, everybody. Now you can cut it now. Cut, but keep the camera on him and watch this. How are you?
I want to wee.
All right, that's it.
Is that it?
Well,
Barry Sinclair, ladies and gentlemen. Barry Sinclair.
Thank you.
Now, what are these two chairs for?
Oh, yeah.
What are these two chairs for?
Hey, I hope we're on the air. I can't hear myself too good, but listen, I'll tell you what, I want to stand up, be just as tall as you are, you see?
All right.
Yes, I'm going to attempt to influence you if I can. Do you believe that I could influence you to such a degree that we could get a few guys to pick you up. Let's come on over here, Gay, please.
Oh, I hate this now. I'm always the guinea pig.
Oh, you're the
somewhere
guinea pig.
along
Oh,
the line, for
yes.
heaven's sake.
Don't
It's
worry
always
about
the
it.
same, isn't it?
Put you into what's termed a cataleptic trance. Stretch you across the chairs, and do you believe this looks possible? Stretch you across the chairs and then take the full weight of a fully grown man.
No.
It's hard to believe, of course, but
I have a bad
nevertheless
back.
we'll. Well, we'll try and cure it for you. I'll tell you, if you have bad back now, it's going to be worse after this. I'll tell
That's
you
what
that.
I thought. What do I have
Anyway,
to
don't
do?
worry about it. I can assure you, you can
Cannot
realize your
hypnotize
potential.
Me, I am unhypnotizable. They've all tried. It doesn't work.
They've all tried, nothing work. If I
That's
succeeded here,
Doesn't
why,
work.
this would be it, wouldn't it? This would be a real day for Ireland. What do you
That's
think?
right. A real day
Yeah,
for Ireland.
you know,
Come on,
like
then do your thing. That's all right. It's all right.
Well, if I do this, I'm sure on the map. So let's make the attempt anyway. Let's make the attempt. Why not? One more to join the long list of failures, but we'll have a go anyway. It's all right. Oh, that's all right. Don't worry. That's all right. Fine. The girl there looks very worried. Will you reassure her? Oh, is that right? Is that right? Will you reassure her?
I was only trying to sneak out of it by saying I had a
Yes,
bad back. I'm
you
just a coward,
see.
that's
He's
all.
only sneaking out of it. He's only sneaking out of it, but don't worry. So don't worry. Trust me, all right? Close your eyes, Kay. And look straight forward. Please don't worry. Close your eyes.
That's easy, yeah.
So far, so good. Close your eyes. Heels together, Gay. Heels together. Fine.
Just close your eyes. Close your eyes. That's it. So close your eyes.
All right, that's good.
Okay.
Fine, thank you, Gay. And now we're going to make the attempt. I would ask you, please, just to bear with me, just for 1 or 2 moments, Gay. Please let yourself go along with this. Just play along for a moment.
Yeah.
Now, I would ask you to stay very quiet and picture yourself becoming rigid. Picture it, please. Thank you. I can feel your muscles becoming tense. Good, that's good. And now I would ask you to be very, very quiet, please, because you will spoil my concentration. It's going to take a little bit now, so please be very quiet, and we'll ask some of the guys here to help. Now, stay rigid. Let every muscle in your body become rigid. Tense like a bar of steel. Tense. That's good. Tense. Come on now, my friend. Pick them up here. Tense. Rigid and stiff. Rigid. Pick them up the legs, the ankles. Pick them up. Rigid. 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 All right. We're going well. Very well. Right. Rigid. Rigid. Up.
Yes.
Up. And now, absolute silence. That's right. All right. How are you feeling? Good? So far, so good. Now, my friends, watch this. Now, absolute silence, please. No matter what you say, absolute silence, please. Just for a moment. All right, you're going to hold me here. Just a moment now. Absolute silence. Let's have a bit of music if we can. All right. I wonder, could someone help me? Anybody at all? Come over here. Anybody, quickly. Yes. If you don't mind, just to keep my balance. Very important. All right, rigid, rigid, rigid. Up, up. That's it. Lift them up. You're a very strong fellow. Now, all right, and now just let the muscles relax. Let the muscles relax. Let everything relax now. That's it. Relax. Relax. Okay, open your eyes. You feeling all right?
Wonderful.
All right. Thank you. Thank you very much indeed. Wow. Well, I'm pleased.
I
Thank you
just
very
feel
much.
like somebody was walking across my chest. That's all I feel.
Well, that's good.
So what
So
are we
there
doing
you
now?
are.
All
Well,
right.
that's it. Thank
Wonderful,
you.
Barry. Now,
Thank
the
you.
reason I asked you to watch very closely what he was doing, we're taking a break now, and after we come back, we're going to talk about what you have just seen. All right. We take a break now. Back in a couple of minutes for the next part of the show. Thank you very much indeed. All right. Sit down there, Barry. Well done. Okay. Studio audience to pay particular attention to that act by Barry Sinclair, because the last time we had a hypnotist on the Late Late Show, we got a number of letters from people, especially medical people, saying that it was disgraceful that such an act should be allowed on the Late Late Show, or indeed on any television show, and they were very much against hypnotism being used in that way. And also, they were of the opinion that it shouldn't be allowed on stage either, as various hypnotists use it in variety acts. Now, we've invited 2 people along to join us to have a chat about this, to see what it's all about. The first is Dr. John Kelly, who is president of the Irish Society for Medical Hypnosis. He is a medical doctor. We also have an old friend of ours, Mr. Jack Gibson, who is a fellow of the Royal College of Surgeons in Ireland, a retired county surgeon for Kildare, and he practices hypnotherapy at home since his retirement. And the last time you met him on the Late Show was many years ago, when he was extremely successful talking about hypnotism in relation to giving up smoking. And he issued a record at that time which was astonishingly successful with Pan Collins, for example, who was a heavy smoker at that time, listened to the record once and has never smoked a cigarette since. And he also was on our radio program too. We are also joined tonight by Paul Goldin, who is one of the chief practitioners of hypnosis on the variety stage. And we've held Barry as well. Now, Dr. John Kelly, can I ask you please to state briefly your objections to this sort of thing?
Well, not too briefly, but First of all, I'm not president of the Irish Society. I'm president of the Leinster branch of the Irish Society of Clinical and Experimental Hypnosis. Now, we're a group society of doctors, dentists, and clinical psychologists who practice hypnosis and who organize teaching of it for our professions. Now, what you've seen here tonight, I'm afraid, reinforces much of your misconceptions about hypnosis. Unfortunately, most people have deep fears about hypnosis. Most of you tonight were delighted you didn't volunteer to come up. When you saw what happened, it reinforced your ideas that there was control by the hypnotist on the people who were hypnotized, and this isn't true. For example, most of you don't realize that hypnotists do not have any specific powers. Anybody can be a hypnotist. You can learn the basics of hypnosis quite easily, and after a bit of practice, you can become a very good hypnotist. You must practice, and not everybody will achieve it, perhaps, but many people will. Now, there are misconceptions also about the amount of what the person that is hypnotized experiences. They're actually quite happy about the whole thing. We're all hypnotizable. This is something that people don't realize either. We're all quite hypnotizable. But hypnosis is a consent state. We must consent before we are hypnotized. And that's very important to realize. We cannot be hypnotized if we do not agree to be hypnotized.
John, in what way do you think what you just saw was dangerous?
Well, I'll come to that, but I feel that after they've seen all that, that we should express exactly what hypnosis is so that people understand. We don't want people to be afraid of hypnosis. Now, what I want people to realize is that those people on the stage this evening could have woken up if they wanted to, if they felt any fears or if they didn't go along with what he was saying. They were not capable of going against their own principles in what they do. Now, I say this for a specific reason, and the reason is that I don't want people to be afraid of hypnosis. Hypnosis is a marvelous state and a good thing. Now, it is a consent state. For example, if I did a little experiment with the audience, they did, so I don't see why I shouldn't. If I ask the audience to put their right hand on their heads like this and to press it, we'll see. And now, you don't have to do it if you don't want to do it. And all the audience too, and Sarah Jane and Josephine and anybody else that likes. Now, you can take down your hands now. The result of that, my experiment, is that, first of all, there was a lot of hesitation about putting your hands up. You're afraid that I possess some special powers, which I don't. And those of you that put it up straight away just prove how suggestible you are, really, which there's nothing to be ashamed of. Now, this is important, and it's important to realize. With the hypnosis, the power of the suggestion in hypnosis is remarkably strong. It is very, very strong. The power of the suggestion in hypnosis, provided that the patient is agreeable and provided the patient wants to be helped.
John, okay, you've made that point.
I still feel that
sorry.
I want to give you one little bit more.
I have to break you for a moment. I have to break you for a moment to get a reaction from Lynn and Terry Ferry. Lynn, what was your reaction to what you saw?
I thought it was a fraud. It looked like a stage show. I had no sense that these people were involved in what they were doing. They seemed to me to have, their voices seemed false and almost declamatory. And I thought it was money was doing the hypnosis, frankly. I've been cynical about it, but I certainly hadn't any sense that hypnosis was taking place.
Okay, Terry?
I just felt it was embarrassing and humiliating for the people who were doing it. Didn't feel anything else.
All right. Now, Paul, you were one of the practitioners on stage and so on. What's your reaction to what you just heard now?
Well, I think reaction to the show.
To what you've just heard as objections to
Well, the objections are not valid. I mean, that's their particular opinion. But we're talking about the presentation that we've just seen. We're not talking about hypnosis as such or stage show utilizing hypnosis. We're talking about entertainment. And I think, and this is the first time I've met Mr. Sinclair, I think he's an excellent entertainer. And I think the people enjoyed the show in so much as we could hear the laughter. And where I'm concerned, he's an excellent entertainer, and that's about it.
Jack Gibson, do you think what you saw was dangerous in any way, and what Paul Goldin does is dangerous?
I think what I saw had very little danger. I think it is a valid point that it puts people off having hypnosis for curative reasons. I think what was done was not dangerous in comparison to what Paul Golding does, which I think is absolutely irresponsible and is extremely dangerous, and I think it should be stopped.
Why is it irresponsible and why is it dangerous?
Well, I have seen a person chasing a leprechaun in a car, jamming on his brakes, and the man was almost hit. I've seen a man rushing after a bus going at full speed, catching up with it, well, it wasn't full speed, but as fast as he could run, and getting on very dangerously looking for a leprechaun. I've known of a man to jump off the top of a bus. I've treated a person brought into our hospital in a deep hypnotic trance when a post-hypnotic suggestion was made. And I feel these are things that are really dangerous.
What would your answer be to that, Paul?
My answer is that I treat the patients whom the doctors unfortunately seem to have failed with. I'm their last chance. People come to me because they've been going to the medical profession or the so-called medical hypnotists with problems such as stammering, psoriasis, psychosexual problems, overweight, smoking, and the doctor says, here are a few tranquilizers, take them and come back next week and let's see how you get on. And if the following week they come back and they're not any better, then take a few more tranquilizers. Now I have patients that I have to get off the tranquilizers or the antidepressants before I can help them. And as for jumping off of buses looking for leprechauns, I've heard of people jumping out of airplanes without parachutes.
Ah, Paul, you're begging the question there. Surely you know in your Olympia show that they do run out on the street looking for leprechauns.
On the Pat Kenny show last week, we had Mannix Flynn, who agreed that he came and saw the show, and that he, after the show, was walking around looking for leprechauns or belly buttons. And he also agreed that he had never ever been on the stage with me, but he thought it was a bit of fun to do it. And therefore, people will do things for fun or to get a little bit of attention. I've been in the show business now, entertaining, which incidentally is a hobby of mine, for 25 years. My insurance for £1 million worth for danger or malpractice comes to £45 a year. And never in the 25 to 30 years that I have worked has anyone ever gone to try to sue me or has complained to the press or complain that they have psychological problems.
You said on Pat's show, too, that you're a clinical psychologist.
Yes.
Does that mean that you're a qualified clinical psychologist?
I'm a qualified psychologist. I have a master's degree in psychology, and when I was on Talking Heads, Mr. Owen Harris checked me out before he put me on the program, and it was agreed that I have qualifications.
Now, Barry, since it's your act we're mainly talking about tonight, what's your reaction to the complaints from the medical profession?
I'm sort of all out of breath after doing that. I would see it as a little bit of fun. As you say, it's the science of consent, which it is. To take any joke or any humorous situation out of its framework, to analyze a joke you can't do. Any joke looks stupid and bad. But as Paul says, which is very true, you must relate to the laughter. People like it. I know that 2 people did wake up there. People can't wake up. I can't make them do anything. And I think if you ask the people, I know, just as you did, you were not in a deep trance yet. It looks good. It's only a stage show, this lady over here said. That's all I claim it is, a stage show.
But Barry, I wasn't in any trance at all.
No, I know you weren't.
I was wide awake.
Exactly.
I just did what you told me to do for the sake of the show.
As I say, it's a science of consent.
Could I have done that without being hypnotized? I feel I could have stiffened myself and have somebody press on my chest.
Yes.
And just lay the emphasis on that area. I don't feel that hypnosis or what you claim
No, but it is a show.
Required.
Like, you could take a comedian and say, well, that's a terrible joke, or you can't, any comedian could be confronted by a member of the public, and that person would say, go on, make me laugh. And
but Barry, are you now saying that all of those people were not hypnotized at all?
No, what is hypnosis? It depends on the word. It comes from the Greek word meaning sleep, which is a misnomer. Hypnos meaning sleep. It really is the abrogation of your critical faculty. They trust you, the people, and they say, all right, we'll do such and such, and they allow themselves to be influenced by you because I'm a showmanner. This is my claim. I have the timing and the ability to relate to the audience.
But what did you do with them outside for the 10 minutes
All I
before
did,
the
if you
show.
want to ask them, I merely went over to them, asked them to look directly into my eyes. The prestige of my name as a performer helps to allow them to allow themselves to be influenced. That's the side. There is no mystery, no magic. I am not trying to tell anyone I have power. I have no power. I have a skill. Just like, he says it's easy to be a hypnotist. It is not. I bet you couldn't be a hypnotist. Give you 5 years. You will never, yes, you will not get up and do a stage show. That's like saying Bob Hope is, it's easy to be an entertainer. It's not.
I practice hypnotism, and I certainly know the techniques of doing
Well,
so.
well,
and
you will not do a show.
A stage show is just what I don't want to do.
Well,
but what I'm getting at is that we have to take hypnosis. If you, for example, if you were to take a bottle of chloroform, you could go out onto the you could put them all fast asleep with a bottle of chloroform. It would be a marvelous trick if people didn't know what chloroform was. But they do.
I don't see your point.
Well, I'll tell you the point. The point is that we must reserve chloroform for the medical profession, and we must also reserve hypnosis, because hypnosis is a very serious thing. It's a very good tool for medicine. We can use it, like Paul Goldin said, for many things. Now, he's right up to a point. He has used it perhaps very well over the years. There have not been many doctors that do it. We are now trying to train doctors to do so. We are bound by professional code of ethics, which bind our professions. Now, we can't misuse hypnosis. Hypnosis has been misused down through the centuries. It has a very bad name, and people are afraid of it. And this is terribly important.
And on and on.
Yes.
You keep on saying what you can do and what the profession can do.
Yes.
But the profession hasn't done it.
There are 5,000 American doctors practicing hypnosis
in America,
today.
I'm talking about
in Ireland, there aren't many. We are training them. And I just want to say one thing on that point.
You have no dignity. Do you mind allowing me to speak for one moment?
Just one moment, and then I'll allow you.
You've spoken enough.
We have
Excuse me.
Practice.
You have a lot. No wonder you are not the president yet of the Irish Medical Society. You are only the...
What is the point you're trying to make, Paul?
Fine.
What's the point you're trying to make?
The point that I want to make is, okay, Barry is an entertainer, and he's a good entertainer. There's no doubt about it. And just let me finish.
Hold on.
Excuse me.
A sexist entertainer.
Where sex is concerned, madam, I think you may have a psychosexual problem, and I'll come and see you at your
Can I bounce that to you?
Okay, your answer.
Hardly when he describes 40-year-old men as virgins.
Please, I beg your pardon?
Hardly when he describes 40-year-old men as virgins.
Well, you may be...
That's his problem,
whether
not
you're
mine.
a virgin at 40 years old or not, I don't know.
No.
But please, let me carry on with replying to Dr. Kelly. May I do this? Just for a little while.
Your stage.
You have kept on interrupting me. Fine?
Go on, Paul.
Okay. And I think I've lost the point now. But nevertheless...
Not surprised.
Okay. But the point is this. Hypnosis can be and is used for treating people. Mr. Sinclair is an excellent entertainer. There's no doubt about it. Where I am concerned, for me, the show was a hobby. Some people play tennis, some people play golf. I enjoy show business. But as a qualified psychologist, my field basically is to assist people. And I work with the medical profession here. Doctors send me their patients. I have referrals from doctors. I have a medical doctor here in Dublin that I work with at all times. We work together with people. And we treat complaints and illnesses. And you might say, well, it's only suggestion. If somebody comes to me with psoriasis that they've had for 15, 20 years, and we cure that psoriasis, and there's no repercussions, and there is no other problems that are substituted for the psoriasis, then I have done my job. If the person can't sleep at night, they suffer from insomnia, and after 3 or 4 sessions, they phone me up and say, thank you, I can sleep, no more problems,
But Paul,
I have done my
Paul,
job.
the medical people are making the point that this properly is the domain of medical people, and you should not be involved in it, and neither should
Well, he's a clinical psychologist.
Madame
He is
was
a clinical psychologist, and consequently, maybe,
the
with
domain
doctors,
of
he
Madame
has a
Curie
perfect
was
right
not
to use
as
it.
a scientist. Well, she was a
He
scientist, but not as a
monopolizes
medical
the
doctor.
thing very much too.
Madame Curie was an investigator into fields of electronic fields, and she discovered Röntgen rays, which became X-rays. So you don't have to be a doctor to do pioneer work, just as you don't have to be a missionary or a priest to go into the jungle to do missionary work.
Yes,
You
Doctor,
can-
one must ask the question, is this an attempt by the medical profession to keep something to themselves and to keep everybody out?
It is to safeguard a valuable tool. It could be misused by people. Paul Goldin may not be misusing it, especially when he works with doctors. I couldn't object to that. But I do feel that we should, in Ireland, as in most countries, use hypnosis more. He does. We should use it more. In America, they do. They help people in all sorts of ways. 5,000 American doctors practice it regularly. They are very good at it, and it is a marvelous tool.
Right, we have an example of it. Can I stop you there for a moment, because I have an example of what you're talking about.
We're going to have a course for doctors in Ireland. Any doctor watching,
And I'll
if
be
you read the
delighted
Irish
to give you the
Medical
course.
Times, we have it in the diary section there, and you can apply
Right.
for the course.
Can I interrupt you, John, please, for a moment? I want to show an example of what we're talking about from a series which is currently running on the BBC called Hypnosis and Healing. You can roll it there, Colette, please. I think this piece was on a couple of weeks ago. It's a fascinating series, and this is about a young girl who's having problems. I've no doubt that RTE will eventually buy this series, but have a look at what we have lined up anyway.
We head back, and I want you to keep looking at these bunnies. And you're going to watch the bunnies going round and round and round. And very soon you're going to see a foxy chasing them. You're going to see a foxy. Let me know the moment you see a foxy. And the moment you see the fox, your left hand will go very, very light, and you'll lift it up for me and let me know. You'll let me know that the fox is there. And now I see your hand is beginning to lift. So just let it lift, your little left hand. That's lovely. Your left hand, how lovely, and you can see that lovely little foxy. Now what I want you to do for me is I want you to help me. I want you to help me to save the bunnies, because the bunnies there, they're hiding again, you see? I want you to help me save the bunnies, because you can see the foxy chasing them now. Can you see the foxy chasing them now? That's lovely. What color is he? Brown fox. Oh, the rascal, and he's chasing them, but we won't let them catch them, will we? We'll save those little bunnies, shall we? What I'm going to do, I'm going to blow some air into that little toothy of yours. And I'm going to blow some lovely happy air, because, you know, it makes a funny wee noise. And we're going to blow the air on the toothy, and that will clean out the little hole in your tooth, and we'll let the bunnies go into that little hole and hide. Shall we? Oh, shall we? Oh, how wonderful. There is, would you like to hold this for me, please? Thank you very much. And see, this is the little thing that blows the air. And it's going to blow a little bit of air into that. You see the air blowing, do you? You see the air blowing? Now I'm going to blow that air into your toothy. Are you ready to help the bunnies? That's lovely. Oh, the air is not strong. That's lovely. And you are going to start the little bunnies?
Although Jane appears to be fully awake, her imagination has been stimulated to produce a slight hypnotic state in which she does not feel pain.
Let's have another wee looky now. Let's have a look. Oh, you've done jolly well. You know that, Janie? Now keep looking at those lovely little bunnies now. And we're going to clean out all the dirt and all the rubbish out of that little hole. In this case, the cavity is fairly deep. It involves two surfaces of the tooth going from the biting surface right down to the level of the gum. Normally, this is fairly painful, and you're cutting through areas of where there's thousands of nerve endings, and it's not only painful, but it's very uncomfortable. That's lovely. Beautifully done, and I'm just going to plonk this little bit of silver, and I'm going to press it in the top of the bunnies, because the bunnies are in it now. Now, that was beautiful. Did you enjoy that? Did you? Was it fun? Tell me more about the fox.
All right, that's from Hypnosis and Healing, BBC Television, and it's an account of the most extraordinary things. That's just one of the extraordinary things which they are able to do now across the world with hypnosis. As the point was made, the child was actually wide awake but hypnotized and couldn't feel any pain at all. But still getting back to the main gist of what we're talking about, are you still convinced that what Barry Sinclair and what Paul Goldin do on stage with these people, making them run around, is that harming anybody? That's what I want to know. You still would insist, Jack, that it is?
Well, I feel that there are some things about stage hypnosis that I wouldn't like to slam. I'd hate to live in a police state where we just were debarred from boxing, debarred from motor racing, debarred from anything, and I'd include stage hypnosis in this. But I do feel there should be guidelines. And what is happening on the 1st of January in Great Britain is the guidelines are being brought in. As far as I can see, these guidelines would not affect Barry here, but I do feel that they would affect Paul Golding very much, because the guidelines include 5 things. Perhaps the most important of them is that post-hypnotic suggestions should be removed before a person leaves the stage. That means no more free advertising by people chasing leprechauns around the street. That has to stop. Then there is the question of age regression. Now, a lot of the fun on the stage is from age regression. But age regression carries with it a very great danger. Suppose there was somebody in this audience that had a very traumatic experience in their childhood. And on the stage hypnotist knows nothing about this. And they're regressed to this age, and then perhaps left like this while somebody else has been dealt with, and they go through hell, which does apparently affect them afterwards. Because when one talks to the different psychiatrists in different parts of the world, they can come up with stories of people that have been mentally disturbed. Then there is the question of this suspension such as you had. A person can be put into a very severe stage of the muscles and absolute spasms across the 2 chairs, and nobody on the stage running this would know whether the person has a spondylosis in the back, a disc about to burst, and there is a grave danger, in my opinion, about treating people that we know nothing about. The other thing that has been
these, you say, are guidelines which will be brought in January for variety acts.
A doctor who is in the Medical Hypnosis Society in England has been negotiating with one of the people in the cabinet, and they have these guidelines. They're not going to be made absolute law, but they're going to be guidelines that in the individual counties, then they are enforceable.
Right. Paul, what's your reaction to that?
Well, I respect Dr. Gibson. I've known him many years, and he's done a great deal of good work. But he has retired from medical practice, and he dabbles now in hypnosis. Dabbling is the word, with all due respect. Times have changed. He has a phobia now, a leprechaun phobia. Whenever he thinks of Paul Goldin, he thinks of leprechauns. And this is perhaps understandable, because I'm supposed to have people chasing leprechauns. He also then jumped from me to talk about Mr. Barry Sinclair's little demonstration with you, Barry, that you may have a form of spondylosis or perhaps a weak spine. But the point is this. You know yourself whether you have any problems.
Would that apply to other people on the stage?
Of course it would.
On the stage of the Olympia
Yes.
or the Games?
They would not do anything against their moral code. If they have a weak heart, then they wouldn't volunteer to participate. It's a fun show. People enjoy the show.
Lynn is about a contradiction.
People are not always aware of their conditions. They probably arise after perhaps a show with you. They are not always aware of their conditions.
After a show with me, if they can't sleep, they can sleep.
No, I'm not
if they're
talking about
overweight,
sleep. I'm
they
talking
will
about
lose weight.
conditions of the back or anything. Why do you presuppose that people are fully aware of their medical fitness?
People are aware of
fitness?
themselves if they are under the state of hypnosis, because they become fully aware. They know absolutely all about their condition, whether they feel tension or not.
Yes, you're a dentist, yes.
I'm delighted you disagree with me.
Yes,
Thank you.
people, if all patients were able to diagnose themselves,
Right.
they wouldn't be going to doctors.
No, I'm not.
Mr. Byrne, excuse me a second.
Please.
Mr. Byrne, God forbid, could have a malignancy in his back that he knows nothing about. It could weaken his back. He might never know anything about it.
But if you
And
remember,
he could have been seriously damaged there today.
It's impossible. I would refute that.
I know, but you didn't know, you see.
I did. I checked with him beforehand. I asked him.
Oh, well,
He's
but
making the point I might not know.
he
But I
might
mean-
not know, you see.
But I mean, if you get out of bed in the morning, you might have a weak knee, and you can hurt the cartilage. Even living is dangerous, you know. Everything. I asked him. He
How
said
glib.
no.
That's my point. The man wouldn't know. There's lots of
But
people
I
going
mean-
around now have deficiencies in their back that they know nothing about.
Well, then it could happen to them if they picked up a matchbox or the
Sure,
simplest
it
thing
could.
that
Right.
cause it. So, well, this is no more dangerous than picking up a matchbox or standing up on a bus.
But you were standing on his
Or
chest.
falling off a bed. No, well, I actually did not stand on his chest.
But in fact, what
Actually.
I did had nothing to do with hypnosis because I wasn't hypnotized.
So there, what are you
Just doing
talking
it
about?
anyway.
It was waking hypnosis.
It
Well,
was what?
is that what you call
Oh,
it?
come on, Doctor.
No,
I
we
wasn't
could
in the
call
least
it-
hypnotized.
Well,
I
all
was
right.
just doing it for the
Okay.
crack.
I'd like to introduce a new area here, perhaps, about...
Can you make it short because we've about 3
short,
minutes to go on this now.
Could we talk about the idea of miracles, perhaps, that what had been interpreted as miracles in the past were in fact states, hypnotic states, self-induced or induced by others, or faith healing of sorts? Gentlemen, over to you.
Well, I wouldn't know. I have not witnessed any miracles as such, except that my grandfather, having seen a television set, would probably say that's a miracle. Or if somebody leaves my office having suffered from 25 stone overweight down to 20 stone in 3 or 4 weeks, that could be called a miracle. It is not a miracle. The mind controls the body. We have unlimited power, but it's unfortunate that we don't use this power. In my clinic, I show people, and I have a clinic in America, I have one in Atlantic City. I'm not boosting the clinics for the simple reason people from here can't go to America or to Atlantic City. But people in the clinic come in with a problem.
Yeah.
They go out without the problem.
Okay.
They are not listening, just listening as Dr. Gibson's magic records, listening to a record, because if it would work with a record or with a tape solely, with a tape or a record, I'd be, instead of a millionaire, a multi-millionaire, because I would sell millions upon millions of records and tapes all
His
over the world.
record certainly worked with Pan Collins, I can tell you that.
Exactly,
Yes.
but it's not a panacea for everything.
Of course it's not. No.
Yes, but
To
Paul
come back to the
Goldin is
point.
not the only person, and he's giving the impression that he is.
No,
Now, we
I'm
are
not.
trying to... Yes, Paul Goldin has been talking all night. Now, we are trying to... We are trying to organise here in Ireland a society of doctors, dentists, and clinical psychologists who will do the work that Paul Goldin is claiming he does. And we are bound by medical
I would be
ethics.
delighted. I would be delighted
we are
for you to
already
do this,
doing
sir.
this, and we are expanding, and it is doing it in America, and it is a very
However, Doctor,
useful
you
tool.
are
delighted.
drawing up your own guidelines. You are forming
Yes.
an association which itself forms the guidelines, draws up the guidelines.
Absolutely.
And I would be
But
delighted for
we
you to
try,
do this,
We
Doctor.
try.
What about my
To-
question of miracles?
All right, I can't go into it now
May
because
I-
we've
may
run
I
out of
say
time.
one
We have to,
thing?
yes, Jack, just one last
I
word.
haven't said very much.
Yes.
Paul Golding has said that I'm dabbling in hypnosis and I've stopped practicing. Well, of course, it's utter rot. I'm working about all day long nearly. And dabbling in hypnosis, I have performed perhaps thousands of operations under hypnosis. I am treating people all day long and work in the evenings. He says this is retired. And what I want to say is this. In Ireland now, we have
Paul,
127...
he apologises
I'd apologise to you,
Okay,
Dr.
accepted.
Gibson. I do realise that
Sure, but
you
please,
retired
please,
from
I
medicine.
didn't interrupt you
Sorry,
once.
okay, go ahead.
Not once did I interrupt anyone. We have 127 people now who joined the society in Ireland. We are training people to work in hypnosis. We feel it's a tremendously serious thing. I personally feel that the 50 million pounds that are spent on pills would be totally unnecessary if we use mind control. And what I feel is if any type of hypnotic work turns people away from this, let us beware.
All right, thank you very much. You must make up your own minds about all of this, ladies and gentlemen. Before we take a break, I will thank our guests for joining us. Before we take a break, our little competition, as I explained to you before, have you got your forms, please? This you can join in at home as well. We are going into our 21st year on The Late Late Show. We have had many outstanding personalities as guests on The Late Show down through the years, some better known than others. We ask you to identify these 6, and we've already given them a crack in the audience before we came on the air to identify them. The clue for this one, number 1, is mellifluous. Mellifluous. Mellifluous, all right?